this morning, sun's a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do this, guys. I say let's kick this can right now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name is Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our show today. We're primarily right now going to talk about the earthquake in Venezuela. Big earthquake last night. Just before we left the program last night, we had what they called a 7.2 earthquake, and 42 seconds later, we had a 7.5 to 7.9. 7.5 to 7.9. Now, guys, that's a huge number. Huge difference, okay? 40 times the amount of power between 7.5 to 7.9. This was a catastrophic earthquake. Very catastrophic earthquake. Now, guys, there are already counted over 164 people that have been unalive. Over 164 people have been unalive now after those back-to-back earthquakes. We're going to talk exclusively about this. We're going to get into detail and assess exactly what happened last night. And as we get more information, we'll report it to you. Again, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake hit last night before we left the air with our original program. 42 seconds later, we had a 7.6 earthquake that was downgraded to a 7.5 hit. Struck the northern coast of Venezuela, literally collapsing homes and buildings in the capital Caracas and the surrounding area, causing very widespread destruction. Like I said, over 164 people have been unalive so far in this quake, and the count is going up even every moment. It happened just 40 seconds after the foreshock of 7.2. Now, guys, I've never seen this happen before where we have a foreshock of 7.2 magnitude. That is an incredible earthquake. Now, there is a race going on right now to rescue victims. Acting Venezuela President Delcy Rodriguez has confirmed fatalities and has also declared a state of emergency in Venezuela. Hundreds of emergency workers are working to find and rescue victims as we speak. Now, also, President Trump has also said through his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, that the United States is going to be sending rescue teams, cadaver dogs, and also supplies, humanitarian and otherwise, to Venezuela after this quake hit. Caracas is a capital in crisis. One Caracas resident who survived the earthquake that hit the capital in 1967 said yesterday's earthquake was unlike anything else he has ever experienced before. Another Caracas resident who escaped a damaged building said the scene was like a horror movie. A literal horror movie, guys. Incredible words. A horror movie. Give me just a second here. Literally a horror movie. There is no tsunami threat at all. Last night, there was talk of a tsunami threat. The U.S. Tsunami Warning Center said there is no tsunami threat at all, canceling an advisory that warned of a potential dangerous waves for areas including Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Why was it canceled? Let me explain that real quick. This earthquake hit on land. This earthquake hit on land approximately 100 miles, 100 to 120 miles northwest of Caracas, hit on land. If this earthquake had hit out in the ocean, in the Caribbean Sea, where it might have happened, then there would have been damage, there would have been tsunamis as well. But this was not out in the ocean, this happened on land. That's why there is no tsunami threat at all. A magnitude 7.5 couplet, okay, a couplet, meaning two earthquakes. The 7.2 was a preliminary earthquake of foreshock. A magnitude 7.5 couplet hit in northern Venezuela west of Caracas. That earthquake is a main shock, a double event, a couplet. We're going to be talking about a couplet in just a minute, okay? USGS assesses this as high casualties. High casualties and high damage are very probable. We're going to show you a video in just a minute about what happened in Venezuela, and then we're going to go in depth about what happened, okay? This disaster is likely to be widespread throughout the entire country. Very major earthquakes such as this cause widespread damage, not just in Caracas, but the surrounding area, okay? Aftershocks are very likely. Aftershocks are very likely to be going on for months and even years. Some potentially with strong shaking may occur following this earthquake, up into and including another 7.2 earthquake. Aftershocks such as a 7.2 earthquake are common when we have couplets such as we had last night. Okay? Again, June 24th, 2026, a 7.5 earthquake hit southeast of Yumari, Venezuela. It occurred as a result of a shallow quake strike slip, a quiet strike slip like this. Strike slip, guys. Strike slip, faulting, near the complex plate boundary between the Caribbean and South American plates. Okay? At the location of the earthquake, the Caribbean plate moves eastward, guys, relatively to South America. The Caribbean plate moves east, okay? Just like the Pacific Ocean plate is moving east underneath the North American plate. The Caribbean plate is moving east relative to South America at a rate of about 20 millimeters per year, about 1.5 inches a year. This movement is primarily to accommodate a major earthquake system of right lateral strike slip faults. Major system of right lateral strike slip faults. Okay, these strike slip faults traversing northern Venezuela mountains. Okay, these strike slip faults traverse northern Venezuela mountains. The earthquake's location. The shallow depth is a 10.0 kilometer depth, possibly even as much as 13 kilometers deep. Okay, and right lateral strike slip mechanisms are consistent with rupture along the plate boundary system, along what they call the Bocono fault system. The Bocono fault system. This event was a main shock of a severe seismic doublet, a doublet sequence occurring 39 seconds after the secondary quake 7.2 hit. A doublet sequence defined as two earthquakes of similar magnitude that occur close in time and proximity likely indicates a complex rupture interaction system. A complex rupture interaction system. Okay. Now, while commonly plotted as points on a map, in fact, let me do this. Okay. Let me go down here and bring up the USGS map system here. Okay, I'm going to take down our webcam. I'm going to take down our EMA banner just like I did there. Okay, I want to show you this. This is very important to what we're talking about today. Right there you see the Philippines where we had a major earthquake. USGS is showing only one earthquake today. Unreal. A lot more than that. A lot more aftershocks than that. Let's go over here to Venezuela on the USGS map here. Okay. They're only showing two aftershocks. That's a fallacy. That's a complete fallacy, especially that far away from the main shock. Okay. This is a 7.5 earthquake here. This is a 7.2. Doublet earthquakes. Doublet earthquakes here. Okay. While these are commonly plotted points on the map, earthquakes of this size are more appropriately described as slip over large fault area. A slip over large fault area. Okay? Strike slip events the size of June 24th, yesterday, are typically about 150 to 20 kilometers length in width. 150 to 20 kilometers length and width. That's a huge area, guys. Huge fault area. Northern Venezuela has a history of large damaging earthquakes. However, in the immediate 250 kilometer vicinity of these earthquakes that hit yesterday, there have only been 7, count them 7, magnitude 6 and larger earthquakes in the past century. Only 7 6.0 and larger earthquakes have hit in the last 100 years. Okay? The region has recently experienced a doublet in September 2025, consisting of a 6.2 and a 6.3 earthquake west-southwest of where yesterday's earthquake hit. Okay? The 2025 sequence caused at least one fatality, over 110 injuries, and extensive structural damage. Yesterday's earthquake, guys, yesterday's earthquake has already caused at least 164 people have died and thousands of people have been injured. Thousands of people have been injured, guys. We're talking right now, possibly fatalities reaching up to 10,000 fatalities and double that or triple that injured from this earthquake. Think about that. Think about that, guys. Think about that number of people been injured or unalive. Those are huge numbers. Those are huge numbers. Okay? Right now, like I said, we have 164 people that have confirmed fatalities, and possibly upwards of over 1,200 people have been injured. Those numbers are going to rapidly increase as the search and rescue crews work and they find more bodies and find more people injured. We're talking upwards of 10,000 people unalived and probably twice as many as that of people that are injured. Those are huge numbers. Those are huge numbers, guys. Okay? The most devastating modern earthquake in the surrounding area was 1967, in July 1967. A 6.6 magnitude Caracas quake centered approximately 131 kilometers to the east, which caused around 240 fatalities, hundreds of injuries. The collapse of multi-high-rise apartment buildings and widespread destruction from that earthquake, 1967. In broader Venezuela, there have been 5 7.0 plus earthquakes in northern Venezuela. Okay? That is in or near the coast of Venezuela since 1900. Since 1900. 126 years ago. There have been 5 7 plus earthquakes, 7 plus magnitude earthquakes in Venezuela since 1900. Those are huge numbers as well. Okay, I'm not going to even come close to reasoning with anybody, including myself, on how damaging this earthquake is. It's huge. These earthquakes are huge. Doublet earthquakes, guys. Literally doublet earthquakes. Now, I want to go over here and also show you video from the area. Now, I'm going to point this out right now. Some parts of this video may be disturbing. Some parts of this video may be I'm going to show you 2 videos actually. Some parts of these videos are going to be disturbing. So I'm just pointing out for you. I'm going right now to CBS News here. I want you to see this.
We begin this morning with breaking news out of Venezuela, where a state of emergency has been declared after 2 powerful back-to-back earthquakes struck last night. Now, the full extent of damage is still being assessed, but at this moment, at least 164 people have been killed, nearly 1,000 others injured. We expect those numbers to rise. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez says dozens of buildings have collapsed. Rescue efforts to find survivors are also underway. The quakes, measuring in at magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 respectively, hit the northwest part of the country less than a minute apart from each other. CBS News is first to report that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has spoken with Rodriguez to offer support from the U.S. President Trump has also weighed in, writing that the U.S., quote, stands ready, willing, and able to help. CBS News' Jared Hill has all the latest information for us. Jared, good morning. What are we learning about what's happening in Venezuela right now?
Incredibly devastating here. We're learning that the death toll is rising ever since this struck just a couple of hours ago yesterday evening, and it's expected to continue to rise as teams search through all of the rubble after these historic back-to-back earthquakes rocked Venezuela. Parts of Venezuela are in ruins after powerful twin earthquakes rocked the South American country Wednesday evening. The first, a 7.2 magnitude. The second, less than a minute later, 7.5. Panic and widespread damage swept across the capital city of Caracas, where people fled buildings before they crumbled. Like a horror movie, one woman described it. Interim President Delcy Rodriguez calling it a serious event with grave consequences. The epicenter of the back-to-back quakes was about 100 miles west of Caracas. Dozens have been reported dead. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the U.S. is sending search and rescue teams, medical resources, and humanitarian assistance to Venezuela immediately.
It was like a minute and a half, the entire house shaking. And
after living through this disaster, Rafael Punceles says he's concerned about the long-term impacts on the country.
It worries me that with the economy as it is, this is going to be a big hit to our economy, because probably there will be a lot of damage.
Rescue crews are now combing through the rubble of collapsed buildings, searching for signs of life, sometimes finding moments to applaud in the midst of the devastation, all as families and neighbors wait for answers in a new, uncertain future. Now, for context here, these earthquakes are some of the strongest to hit Venezuela in about a century. The shaking so intense, it could be felt throughout that country as well as parts of Colombia and Brazil. Errol.
Remarkable. Jared, thank you. We're joined now by Emil Okal. He's a professor emeritus in the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences at Northwest University, joining us from Illinois. Good morning, Professor. As we assess the full extent of damage here, just help our viewers understand how rare it is that there are back-to-back earthquakes and within a minute of one another.
Well, this is not terribly unusual in that an earthquake rupture is depends on the presence of asperities on the fault and so on, and therefore it does not always proceed in a smooth, continuous way. And for the rupture to stop for maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds or so is not in itself particularly unusual. On the other hand, the earthquakes were not separated by enough time to allow for people to evacuate buildings. So this is, in a sense, unfortunate that there was no time for all these people to evacuate between the two earthquakes.
Yeah, no time to evacuate. I understand this also took place on what was a holiday there in Venezuela, so many people were at home. What about the depth of the earthquake? Sometimes that gives us a hint to the scale of the damage. What do you know about that?
Yes, well, the depth is what we call in seismology shadow earthquakes, anywhere from maybe the surface to 30, 40 kilometers down into the earth. And for an earthquake of this size, probably the rupture involved several tens of kilometers or miles into the earth. And of course, the shallower the earthquake, the more damage it can make. Now, what is quite important to realize is that these events took place quite a distance from the capital city of Caracas, to the west of Caracas. And incidentally, they took place at about the same location that there were two also very similar earthquakes in 1967, except that they were much smaller. They were probably magnitude 6 or so. But the scenario was kind of similar, and they took place maybe within a few tens of kilometers of the recent ones. They took place inside, on land, or below the earth, below the land of Venezuela. They did not take place underneath the Caribbean Sea, and therefore the tsunami damage, if there was any, was very minor. It did not reach very large heights of waves, and certainly did not propagate to distance across the oceans.
I appreciate you joining us, giving us a bit of your context. It's just I'm stunned by the footage we still see coming in from Venezuela. But Emil Okal, thanks for being with us this morning.
Okay, this is unreal, guys. This is fabulously unreal. Most people say this should never have happened. We cannot, I repeat, we cannot say it shouldn't have happened. These earthquakes can happen because we are surrounded around this world by tectonic plates. And these tectonic plates move, and earthquake faults also move. Again, this was a right lateral strike slip fault earthquake. This was a right lateral strike slip fault earthquake. I'll go into that in some detail maybe later today or tomorrow. Let's go over to another video here I have for you about the devastating quake in Venezuela.
This morning, concern about aftershocks after two powerful earthquakes rocked Venezuela, hitting less than a minute apart. The first, a 7.2 magnitude quake.
An earthquake just shook the entire building.
Then, 39 seconds later, and just miles away, a 7.5 quake. People fleeing into the streets of Caracas, buildings swaying, smoke plumes rising from the city. Crowds gathering around collapsed buildings, told to keep silent as first responders yelled out to people buried in the rubble. Victims pulled from beneath buildings. Officials warning the casualties could be high. This video shows part of the Caracas airport collapsing in a cloud of dust. People still inside. The quakes are the largest to hit Venezuela in more than a century. The last 24 hours have seen smaller earthquakes from Japan to the U.S. This 5.6 magnitude quake hitting Northern California. Wine bottles and groceries flying off shelves at this store in Upper Lake.
I was shaking from head to toe. My hands were shaking. I was watching wine bottles drop and just break and the wine go everywhere. It felt like it lasted for 20 minutes.
The quake lasted 30 seconds and was felt as far as San Jose, 180 miles to the south. And across the Pacific, a 6.9 magnitude quake struck off the coast of Japan. No major damage was reported there. Experts say there's no indication the seismic events are related. As for Venezuela, the State Department says the U.S. will send search and rescue teams, saying the U.S. stands with the Venezuelan people. Officials have confirmed 32 deaths and 700 injuries. Those numbers are expected to rise.
We've got great.
Okay. Now, guys, the number is over 164 people have been confirmed unalive. Over 164 people have been confirmed unalive. And over 1,000 people are injured. Those numbers are going to quite catastrophically grow very, very high. Very, very high. They're talking about several thousand, possibly even upwards of 10,000 people unalive and over 10,000 people injured in Venezuela. Okay? They only showed a very small clip of the airport in Caracas being damaged. Much of that airport is in ruins. Much of the Caracas airport is in ruins today. I want to make sure everybody understands this. Much of the Caracas airport is in ruins today. It collapsed. It collapsed. Some people were scurrying to evacuate the airport. Others were involved in the collapse of the Caracas, Venezuela airport. The runways have been damaged. I don't know how they're going to even get people into that airport for other nations to come in and assist in cleaning up Venezuela. It's not just in Caracas either, guys. Widespread damage throughout Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, and other points around South America, including Argentina and Bolivia. This earthquake in northeastern Venezuela was wide felt across many areas of the country. Widespread felt across many areas of the country, guys. Now, guys, we have felt reports reported by USGS of only 462 people felt it. That is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. You saw hundreds of people so far on the two videos I showed you. Hundreds of people, not thousands of people, felt this earthquake. But USGS is only reporting 462 people having felt this earthquake. Those are false numbers. Pretty much false numbers. Now, what I'm going to show you now is information I've obtained from USGS. I've obtained this information right here from the back seismology study pages from USGS. I'm going to show you what is going on here, guys. I want to show you exactly what's going on here. Now, as I do so, you may find some parts of this also disturbing because it's going to show exactly the magnitude of earthquake that hit here. It's going to show you the magnitude of the earthquake that hit here in Venezuela last night. Be prepared, guys. Be prepared. I'm just saying. Be very prepared. Again, USGS is saying this was a 7.5 earthquake. 7.5 earthquake. Came in as a 7.6. As a 7.6. Okay? Now, what I'm going to show you here is this part of the seismograph, or this part of the study page. Okay? It shows 75 seismographs reported, but no station details. USGS often does this. They don't want us to know exactly what happened here. Then they have another here showing 75 stations reporting. And then another that's not being shown here today, but that showed up to be as a 6.6 earthquake, which it was not. It was never a 6.6 earthquake at all. But here we have 7.5 data here. Over on the left-hand side, you see numbers of the seismograph, identifying the specific seismograph where the magnitude strength of the earthquake was felt. On the right-hand side, we're showing you magnitudes of earthquake, okay? This top seismograph is showing it to be a 7.15. Again, this earthquake was a 7.5 to 7.6 earthquake. Let me show you this other data here. The next seismograph is reporting 7.29. The next is 7.51, 7.35, 6.9. It was never a 6.9. 7.52, 7.27, 7.17, 7.55, 6.86. It was never 6.86 at all. These seismographs are reporting this data that shows it to be well below what it was, may have been out somewhere in the countryside, may have been out somewhere out of the country, or in country, but well away from Caracas, Venezuela. Okay? A 7.55 here, 6.86, 7.14, 7.51, 7.38, 7.47. Now, I have reduced the number of seismographs I'm going to show you here. This seismograph here is reporting to be an 8.0. An 8.0, guys. I'm saying this right now. This earthquake may have been as strong as a 7.9. Maybe an 8.0 earthquake. Saying that right off the top. Okay? The next one is showing a 7.59. 7.88, 6.91, 7.52, 7.31, 7.48, 7.54, 7.42, 7.02, 7.47, 7.34, 7.25, 7.7, 6.83, 6.83, 6.52, 7.82, 6.83, 7.67, 7.27, 7.84, 6.83, 6.84, 6.84 again, 6.84 again, 6.84 again, 6.84 again, 7.64, 7.86, 7.36, 7.9, 7.49, 7.48, 7.94, 7.1, 6.98, 7.29, 7.33, 7.84, 7.69, 7.25, 7.65, 7.52, 7.41, 7.49, 7.95, 7.32, 7.56, 7.43, 7.71, 7.46, 7.38, 7.59, and 8.22. Just a few minutes ago, I showed you an 8.0. This final one I want to show you is showing 8.22. Okay? Now, guys, when I went to this system here, went and pulled up the backside seismology study page from this earthquake, there were 822 entries. 822 entries. Guys, this earthquake was a very strong earthquake. Possibly as strong as an 8.0, but it may have been as strong as an 8.4. 8.4. How did I come about those numbers? Let me show you. Let me show you. This graph is called a helioplot. A helioplot. When we've had major earthquakes such as these over the past 7.5 years, I've shown you these helioplots. This particular helioplot, guys, comes from Barbados. Barbados, just north of Caracas, Venezuela, in the Caribbean Sea. The helioplot originates from Barbados Island in the Caribbean Sea. Look what we're showing you, guys. Look closely at what we're showing you. Nearly the entire helioplot has been nearly blacked out. The entire helioplot has nearly been blacked out by this earthquake. This earthquake was powerful, very powerful. Let me show you another one here. As you look at these, beware of where they came from. I'm going to explain where they came from, guys. I'm going to explain where they came from. Again, this one is from Barbados. Barbados, guys. This next one here is from Grenada, also north of Caracas. Grenada is an island in the Caribbean Sea also. Again, almost the entire helioplot has been nearly blacked out. By blacked out, meaning you can hardly see the lines beneath it. You can hardly see the graph lines beneath it. That is proving how strong this earthquake was. Let me show you another one here. This is from Panama. Panama. All the way across the northern part of South America is Panama. Panama intersects with Colombia, just for you, so you know. Intersects with Colombia. Here in Panama, we're also seeing a lot of shaking here. Again, lines here show nearly a complete blackout from the strength of this earthquake. This is Panama here. Okay. Now the next one I'm going to show you comes from Turks and Caicos Islands of the Caribbean. This helioplot originates in Turks and Caicos Islands of Caribbean. Again, nearly a full blackout from this earthquake. Very strong earthquake. Okay. This is again Barbados, the closest island to Venezuela. This is Kodiak Island, Alaska. Kodiak Island, Alaska. A full hemisphere north and west of Venezuela. Unreal. We almost see a full blackout here from Alaska. From Alaska, guys. That is huge. That is huge. This next one comes from Iceland. Iceland. All the way a full hemisphere away from Venezuela in the northern Atlantic Ocean. Iceland here. Here it's not quite as blacked out as other helioplots, but this shows the power of the earthquake here. This shows the power of the earthquake. As I said before, this earthquake in Venezuela last night, it first came out as a 7.6 earthquake. Prior to that, a double at a foreshock of a 7.2. Foreshock of a 7.2 earthquake. By my estimates from analyzing the strength of this earthquake by looking at the helioplots and all the data, this earthquake was probably closer to an 8.4 earthquake. This 7.5 earthquake that everybody's reporting on today is probably closer to an 8.4 major earthquake. From a 7.5 to an 8.4 earthquake, those are huge numbers, guys. Huge numbers. If this helioplot was totally blacked out where you couldn't see anything beneath it, that would have meant it's a 9.0 earthquake. A fully blocked out helioplot would be a 9.0 plus earthquake. This is an 8.4 at least. This is at least an 8.4 earthquake. Okay? I want you to understand what's going on here. Now, with that said, I want to show you this next slide here. The reason I'm going to show it to you is the option for aftershocks. Average ability for aftershocks to hit this area. Aftershock forecast. Okay? A 4.7, I'm sorry, not 4.7, a 7 plus earthquake still has a 6% possibility of happening. 6% possibility of another 7.0 plus earthquake happening after this earthquake today. Now, we're talking now about a 6 plus magnitude earthquake. A 6 plus magnitude earthquake. There is a 47% chance of having multiple 6.0 plus earthquakes happen as aftershocks from this 8.4 earthquake that we showed you today. A 5.0 plus earthquake aftershock. The possibility of a 5.0 plus aftershock happening are actually 98% possibility. 98% possibility of at least one, if not hundreds, of 5.0 plus aftershocks happening. A 4.0 plus earthquake aftershock. There's a 99% chance of having a 4.0 plus moderate earthquake hit. On the other token here, a small 3.0 plus earthquake happening, there is a 99% chance of a 3.0 plus aftershock happening. 99% possibility of a 3.0 plus small earthquake happening as an aftershock. We're going to see this, guys. We're definitely going to see this. Okay? Now, I want to go over to my device here. I want to show you what we have here. This information is also pertinent to this earthquake. I'm going to show you the EMSC map here. I'm going to show you the EMSC map showing this earthquake from last night. Now, guys, this is important. You might not just see what I'm going to show you, but I want to show it to you anyway. Already today, 8:31 p.m. last night. 8:31 p.m. last night, we had a 2.89 earthquake, aftershock. 2.89 magnitude minor earthquake, aftershock. 8:31 p.m. last night. Okay? There's a 99% chance of having a 3.0, which is larger than the 2.89 earthquake. This is a 2.89. There's almost 100% possibility of at least this happening again and again and again. Now, with that said, we're also showing you two different circles. One with 10 plus earthquakes was actually 17 earthquakes hitting there, and 50 plus earthquakes sitting there. These are aftershocks of the 7.2, 7.5 earthquakes that hit last night. Again, I believe that the 7.5 earthquake was actually an 8.4 earthquake. I believe it was an 8.4 earthquake, judging by all the data we can show you, which I did show you. Let's go over and tap out the 50 plus earthquake scenario here. Look at these earthquakes. Now, because I want to show you this, showing you a 20 plus number of earthquakes here, it's a lot larger than that. The numbers are a lot larger than that. This is 20 plus right here. 20 plus earthquakes right here. Now, we're totaling now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 earthquakes right here. 24 earthquakes right here. Okay? Off to the side of that, we have 2, 4, 6, 8 earthquakes, which are east of there. 8 earthquakes east of that 22 earthquakes I just showed you. This right here is a 2.93.0. 2.93.0. That aftershock happened at 7:23 a.m. this morning. 7:23 a.m. this morning, probably several hundred miles to the east. Okay? Let's go further down here to the south here, east and south. This is the 3.5 aftershock here. 3.5 small aftershock here. Again, USGS estimates we're going to have a 99% chance of 3.0 plus earthquakes hitting here. We already have had. This registered at 7:13 p.m. last night, Eastern Time. 7:13 p.m. Eastern Time last night. 3.5 earthquake there. Let's go over to the coastline here. They're on our honorary Edo Vargas, Venezuela. There's a 3.8 along the coastline. Further over to the north, a 2.2 minor earthquake. USGS does not even have minor earthquakes listed here. I've shown you 2 minor earthquakes so far. One of the other aftershocks hitting here, here's a 3.8 aftershock here. 3.8 aftershock here. That aftershock registered at 9:29 a.m. this morning. 9:29 a.m. this morning. Okay, another 3.8. Offshore from Caraballo, Venezuela. This is the 3.1 aftershock here, out in the Caribbean Sea. Further to the northwest here, this is the 3.8 here. 3.8 here. That 3.8 registered at 6:32 p.m. Eastern Time last night, right after this 5.7 hit. I'm showing that 5.7, this 7.5 earthquake hit. Okay? Now, let's go further out here into the Caribbean here on the other side of the earthquake. On the other side of the earthquake. This earthquake here was registered at 7:43 p.m. last night, Eastern Time. This is a 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake. Further out here to the northeast or northwest, another 3.4. 3.4 earthquake there. Now, let's go closer to the main earthquake. Let's go closer to the main earthquake. We're seeing a 2.52 minor earthquake there. Okay? Just barely east of the main shock. Okay? To the north of there. This is the 3.4 small earthquake there. Now, let's go over to the main shocks. The 2 main earthquakes from last night. Right here, this is another 3.2 aftershock. 3.2 aftershock. That earthquake hit at 12:59 p.m. last night. I shouldn't say 12:59 last night, 12:59 a.m. this morning. 12:59 a.m. this morning, small earthquake. Small earthquake aftershock. Just north of that earthquake. This is a 3.8 small earthquake there. 3.8 small earthquake there. North of there. This earthquake hit last night, 6:40 p.m. last night, Eastern Time. This is a 3.3 aftershock. 3.3 small aftershock. North of that aftershock, one more here. One more. This is a 4.5 aftershock. 4.5 aftershock. USGS says there's a 99% chance of at least one or more 4.0 plus earthquakes. This is a 4.5 earthquake. This 4.5 earthquake registered at 6:29 p.m., 6:29 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. 6:29 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. One more here north of there. This is 19 miles northeast of San Juan de los Cayos, Venezuela. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 small earthquake here. Now I'm going to go to the southwest here. Over here to the southwest. This also is northwest of the main shocks. Northwest of the main shocks. This happened at 4:06 a.m. this morning. This is a 3.5 earthquake that happened at 4:06 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. Okay? So far, right now, they're saying we have at least 60 plus aftershocks, at least 60 plus aftershocks. USGS is listing this earthquake here, as well as the EMSC is listing this earthquake as a 7.5 magnitude earthquake. Again, the foreshock was a 7.2 magnitude earthquake, which is still a major earthquake. We had two 7.5 earthquakes here last night while we were on the air. We reported the 7.2, the 7.5 came out just after we left the air. Okay? A big difference. A huge difference. A huge, huge difference, guys. Again, we're showing probably closer to 70 plus earthquakes here today. We're showing at least 7 plus earthquakes here today. Do we have any questions here? Do we have any questions here? Hurricane Heather's in the chat. She's one of our moderators. They, in Northern California, had an earthquake last night. A big earthquake. Hurricane Heather's saying that earthquake was larger than a 6.0. It absolutely was. It absolutely was. I believe that earthquake last night in Northern California was close to a 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake. We talked about that last night. 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake hit Northern California last night. Ruth St. John saying, good grief, where is this happening? Ruth, if you missed the earlier part of our program this morning, this earthquake occurred last night in northeastern Venezuela. Northeastern Venezuela. Two couplet earthquakes. The first, a moderate 7.2, happened just after 6:32 last night. 42 seconds later, we had another 7.5 earthquake that I believe, I showed you the information. I believe that earthquake is not just a 7.5, but an 8.4 earthquake. An 8.4 earthquake. I showed you the data for this earthquake. Okay? The data shows it was a much larger earthquake than they're showing here. Cassandra's asking, do you think that we can have more larger earthquakes, these around the Ring of Fire before this is over? Absolutely. I absolutely do. This may be the start of something bigger. Okay? Prior to this earthquake last night, I am believing, and I have other people that agree with me here, I believe we're going to have at least another 8.0 earthquake this year. I think we're going to have a larger 8.0 earthquake by this time, by the end of the year, before the end of the year. 8.0 major earthquake. As I said before, one of the earthquakes last night, 7.5 earthquake, I believe was an 8.4. 8.4. And I believe we're going to have another 8.0 happen before the end of this year. I believe it's probably going to happen this summer. Before the end of this summer. Meaning before the end of August. That's huge. That's huge. Do we have any other earthquake? Do we have another earthquake? Do we have any other questions or comments here? Do we have any other comments? I believe this is very important. Okay? That's why I came on the air this morning. Okay? I've been compiling information since about 8:39 a.m. this morning Eastern Time. Okay? I've been compiling information about this since earlier this morning. I did not feel it was imperative that we come on there before now. Why? Because what would have been reported at by 8 o'clock, 8:30 this morning would have been just dribble. Just dribble. Okay? Speculation. I'm not going to speculate on this channel at all. I don't speculate. I report details. We report details on this channel. Okay? While some other channels may be reporting this earthquake, I show you absolute detail about what happened and why I believe it was a much larger earthquake. Not speculation. I provide you details on this program. For those of you that are new to this program, please subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe, and also there's something else you also need to do when you subscribe to this channel. Right next to the subscription button, there's a little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon. When you click on that little bell icon, guys, you're going to see a drop-down menu, 3 items pop up. Click on the word ALL, all. That way you'll get notified when we come on the air. Click on the subscription button, subscribe to our channel, click on that little bell icon, and then when that drop-down menu comes up, click on the word ALL, all. That way you get notified when we come on the air. Be advised, we always come on the air Monday through Friday, sometime after 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. On the West Coast, that would be 1:30 p.m. on the East Coast. On the West Coast, I'm sorry, on the West Coast. 1:30 p.m. on the West Coast. That's pretty early. That is another reason I came on the air late this morning. I wanted to make sure people were up and watching our program. I want to make sure we had the people up and watching our program. I gave you detailed information about what happened with this earthquake. I wanted to make sure everybody saw this program. It's important. I believe what we're showing is very important for everybody. Okay? Do we have any other questions? Hurricane Others asking, are we doing another stream later this afternoon? I believe we're going to do a shorter stream later this afternoon talking about fires in the United States. Fires in the United States. Guys, we have a lot of wildfires. Tons of wildfires. We're going to talk about that later this afternoon. Hey, Kristen, it's good to see you here. Good to see you here. Any other questions from anybody in the chat? Or anybody else that's watching? We have 45 people plus watching this channel. That's only the number of people that USGS allows to watch this channel, or showing us that is watching our channel. We probably have hundreds of other people watching our channel as well, because USGS only wants us to see what they want to see and nothing else. Same thing as USGS. YouTube only allows us to see what they want us to see, nothing else. Unreal. Unreal. Any questions? Now, Hurricane Heather, guys, you see in the chat, she's one of my moderators here, a wonderful woman that I truly admire and love. She's my sister, real lover. She has a Facebook Messenger site, a thread, Facebook Messenger thread. She, one of our other cohorts, Renee Seppi, operate that thread, point out wildfires and weather. Wildfires and weather, called Weathers and Wildfires, okay, on Facebook Messenger. She and Renee Seppi often put up thunderstorms and tornado warnings on her chat when they have them, okay? Leah, thank you for being here. Appreciate you here as well. Any other questions before we end this? Again, guys, please subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe to our channel, click on the little bell icon. When you click on that little bell icon, you'll get a drop-down menu through items come up. Click on the word ALL. That should get you notified when they come on the air. Guys, please subscribe to our channel. When you do that, hit that notification bell so you get notified when we come on the air. Besides that, before you leave today, please give us a thumbs up. That we also greatly appreciate it. Also, guys, before you leave, we have an obligation also to pay our bills here. We're now paying over $300 a month for bandwidth. $300 a month for bandwidth. Was $289, it's now over $300, about $311 a month for bandwidth. You can go to our PayPal and give us PayPal donations to keep this program on the air. It's very expensive to keep this program there. We need your help. Okay? So please go to our PayPal and give us donations. Send us donations to keep this program on the air. Also, you see our email address floating across on your screen. Our email is rltnspdema@gmail.com. Send us comments, send us your questions and ideas you want to see on this program, and we'll do them. Also, see our snail mail address going across on your screen. 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Send us a letter, send us a card. Inside your letter or card, you can stick cash or even a check to help defray the cost of our program. We'd appreciate that greatly. If you send us a letter or a card, also tell us how you're doing. Tell us what you were doing to prepare for earthquakes or other disasters in your area. We'd love to know. If you'd like us to share that information on our program, we'll do that as well. Give us permission to do that. Inside the letter or card, stick a cash donation or even a check made out to Ron Tyler and send it to us to our snail mail, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. We'd appreciate your help greatly. We love you guys. We appreciate you being here. We'll probably be on the air sometime just after 4 p.m. tonight, and we're going to give you a review of what we told you about Venezuela. Any further updates about it? We're also going to talk about wildfires all over the United States. So be here for that, guys. We love you very much. Appreciate you here. Catherine Sigerson from Canada is here as well. Thank you for being here, Catherine. God bless you. Thank you all for being here, guys. Have a good night and a better today. Take care, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. Complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning.